Welcome back to Inside Steelers Nation on SNR. I'm Randy Slack with Matt Williamson and Dale Lolley. Looking ahead to the Steelers-Jags game, recapping the wild card weekend. Now, let me just get this out here for Jacksonville in defense of the Jaguars. They've scored 27 points or more in half their games this regular season. Maybe they weren't all against good teams, but they were able to score some points at times. You've got a team that it's well known that if the Steelers can get ahead of them, or if anybody can get ahead of them by 2 scores, they won't be able to come back. So does that play into the hands potentially of this team of you wanting to be more aggressive and maybe throwing the ball down the field and playing into the strength of that defense, which is the pass rush and that really good secondary? I
wouldn't get super risky early on.
No, I just do what you do.
I think the points will come.
Yeah. This is a game where, because their offense is so undynamic, is that a word? I don't know.
Is now.
Okay. But they don't have any dynamic playmakers that if you have to go, if you have to punt early in the game a couple of times, so be it.
Yeah, punts aren't bad.
Yeah, punts aren't a bad thing. Play field position with them. And sooner or later, your offense is good enough that somebody's going to get open. You're going to hit some plays. Buffalo had plays yesterday.
Yeah. We were talking about that. Taylor left a lot of
They left some stuff out on the field that they could have won that game. It could have been 17-0 in the first half, and
like, with all respect to Tyrod Taylor, if Ben's a quarterback in that game, they win by 20.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not even close.
Right.
Now, did Jacksonville get the playoff jitters out of its system?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, but it's different as well playing your first road playoff game too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going into a hostile environment.
You talk about different environment. Jacksonville at home versus Pittsburgh, on the road.
Yeah. This place should be pretty fired up. The players are going to be fired up.
Snap counts or that kind of stuff too.
They're not going to be used to what they're going to see in this one. I don't even know. I mean, let's face it. If you went back and listened to Steelers Nation Radio the week leading up to that Jacksonville game, I guarantee you we weren't talking about the Jaguars as being any kind of threat to beat the Steelers.
No, but I think we recognized that the defense was a big-time defense. And it could be a low-scoring game, and Ben might get hit. And
I think we would have all picked the Steelers to win that one.
You know what? If we go back, I'm pretty sure I called Ben throwing 5 picks. I said a lot of genius things that week.
But, yeah, I think they'll have their full attention this week. Yeah. Not that they didn't before, but I just think when you're playing a team that you don't play all the time, even if it's a good team, you may not take
it's a little bit personal.
When they play Cincinnati, when they play Baltimore, when they play New England, it's personal. They're laser focused on those weeks. When you're playing,
the
Bears or Jaguars here or there, either way, it's not necessarily. You can say that you're focused. But it's human nature that maybe you don't take that game quite as seriously as you do one of those other games. But this is the playoffs. They're going to be laser focused on this one.
And along those lines, I think it's better for the Steelers that, in a way, they got embarrassed in the first match.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they win that game 14-0 or something, like do what we thought they would do type of deal, they would be maybe a little more lackadaisical this week. But you think Ben's going to be lackadaisical?
No.
Right.
Can I just say that I'm watching the Bills Mafia. They're just acting like idiots.
Yeah.
The whole table breaking thing?
The whole table breaking thing. I realize you haven't been in the playoffs in a long, long time. But that doesn't mean you get to act like idiots. And I saw things, people walking. There were people posting videos of fans walking through the Jaguars fans walking through the parking lots yesterday. And just being accosted by these Bills fans.
Really?
I mean, show a little bit of class.
Yeah, that's bad.
I mean, people. There was a picture of 2 guys carrying a cooler in Jaguars jerseys walking through the parking lot, and this Bills fan comes running up behind them and jumps on the back on their cooler and it rips it out. I mean, somebody could have gotten hurt.
Right.
Yeah. It's just this goes beyond playful, fun stuff.
Yeah,
you're acting like idiots. You're actually.
I don't know you. Don't be.
No.
Right.
It's just the stupidity of it all.
Yeah. They lost.
Back to Blake Bortles for a second. He hasn't had 3 terrible games in a row all year. He's
had 3 terrible years before this.
But he's had some stinkers.
He stinks.
He went 8 of 14
Randy,
for 95 yards. Okay, he went 8 of 14 for 95 yards. The next week against the Rams, 23 of 35 for 241.
He stinks.
The next week, 18 of 26 for 330.
He stinks.
24 of 38 for 250.
Stinks.
He's thrown for some yards, and then he'll bounce back.
Stinks.
I'm just
he
saying.
stinks. I'm telling you right now. I actually cover the Jaguars for a fantasy football website. He is the king of the garbage time points. That's what Blake Bortles is. That's what he was known for.
Oh, he was known for that.
I mean, he had coming into this season. I don't even think in his previous 3 years. I think he had like less than 10 first half touchdown passes in 3 years.
Some of his numbers entering this year.
It was just ridiculous. He's terrible.
Like
he's
0
god
road
awful.
wins.
Yeah,
like
god awful.
terrible things.
Is he worse than Brett Hundley?
No,
but Brett Hundley's not a starter.
But he looked pretty good against the Steelers.
Again,
Joe Flacco, the Ravens.
Go back to what I just
the Ravens
talked
are
about.
the worst offense in the league. They scored almost 40 points on the Steelers.
Again, he stinks.
If Blake Bortles,
I'll bet you right now. If Blake Bortles puts 40 points up on the Steelers on Sunday, I will do this show naked next week.
Oh, we all win there. Right.
Well, we won't be doing Steelers Nation next week, but that's beside the point. There's not happening. It is not happening.
You will concede he's better now than he's been, though. This year.
Yeah.
I mean,
he couldn't have been much worse. They were looking to replace him.
He was awful.
Well, look.
I mean, last year's worst year.
And I heard Tunch and Wolf this morning on my drive into Pittsburgh, and Tunch is good friends with Doug Marrone.
Oh, okay.
Because they played. He was here with the Steelers in a training camp as a player, and he said before the game, when they played the Jaguars, he was talking to Marrone on the sidelines, and Marrone's, he said, Doug, you guys got a pretty good team this year, and Marrone said, yeah, I got everything but a quarterback. This is their head coach. They realize it. They don't have a quarterback. He stinks.
There was a lot of people talking the last couple of weeks, like, well, maybe they'll re-sign Bortles to a long-term deal, and they're all set there. I'm like, no.
If they do that, that would be the biggest mistake that they could make in this offseason is to lock themselves into that guy.
Coughlin won't fall for that.
Yeah, I remember doing a show early in the year. They tried to replace him in the preseason with Chad Henne. Henne.
Yeah, right. Bortles didn't win the job.
He didn't win the job. Henne just couldn't beat him. I mean, it's because he's Chad Henne.
He was.
They were
going
to go with. I think they even went to their third-string guy at one point. Looking for anybody to can somebody please win this job?
One of the things I was most critical of any team this offseason was how do you not use a third-round pick on a quarterback or bring in somebody? They didn't do a thing at that position. It made no sense to me.
And they spent money.
All. Oh, they spend money. They have money. They spend money. I mean, draft Josh Dobbs or
something.
Webb or
anybody.
First rounder would be nice.
I mean, I don't know if they were like concerned about Bortles' psyche if they bring in another quarterback, or
if that's a problem, then you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, then you definitely have the wrong guy. I agree, but he stinks.
I think he's better than stinky, though. He got his first game jitters out of the way, and not only the first game, a game where they know they're going to beat the Bills, so he's trying not to screw it up. He went 8 of 14 for 95 yards and a pick against the Steelers.
Which stinks.
They generated 16 points of
16
offense.
16 whole points.
The Steelers had 9. They won.
And the Steelers turned the ball.
With him going 8 of 14.
And the Steelers turned the ball over 5 times and scored 9 points.
Yeah.
And that's what it took for them to win here. Do you really think that the Steelers are going to turn the ball over 5 times again?
I don't think he'll go 8 for 14 either.
I think he stinks.
I think he might go 16
He might have 8
for 28.
completions. He'll be
here's
lucky.
The question, though.
He stinks.
If Jacksonville scores 16 points, any way they get it, do they win this game?
No.
I think not, but I'd say
pretty slim.
1 out of 3 chance.
I mean, they just scored 10 points at home against the 26th ranked defense in the league.
That's not what I asked.
They're not scoring. I don't know. Their
defense is good enough that they could keep the Steelers under 16.
I don't
That's
see
not
that.
the craziest thing that's come out of my mouth.
That happening at home. I think the Steelers had their mulligan for the season at home. Typically, if you look over the years, their home road splits have been, especially Roethlisberger's home road splits.
Start Ben in fantasy in Heinz Field.
Yeah.
Right.
They've averaged over 30, just under 30, like 29.9 points a game in the second half of this season. I don't see how they don't score in the 20s. And if they score in the 20s, Jacksonville's not winning this game.
I'm with you. Unless there's a defensive touchdown of some sort.
Here's Blake Bortles, Randy.
Here we go.
I was looking at the numbers.
17 interceptions his rookie year. 18, a league high 18 his second year when he threw 35 touchdown passes.
That's when everyone thought he was good.
Mostly in garbage time.
Oh, mostly in
he
garbage
was
time.
Again, the king of garbage time. Last year.
That's when people thought he was good.
Yeah.
They were wrong.
Back to 23 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. This year, 21.
And that was his worst year ever.
Yeah. This year, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He finally, for the first time in his career, cracked a 60% mark in completion percentage, but it was 60.2. Mm-hmm. That's still well below average.
And he's thrown to a lot of single-covered receivers this year.
Dale, I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm here to talk about the future. I'm here to talk about now. If you play roulette, and black might come up 30 times in a row, it's going to eventually come up red. They have stunk on offense. They've scored 10 points the last 2 games. Titans, 10 points. Bills, 10 points. They're going to get more than 10. They have to. History this year has shown they're not going to have 3 stinkers in a row. Blake Bortles doesn't have 3 stinkers in a row. He's good for 2 in a row.
Well, okay. Well, let's say this then. Against San Francisco 3 weeks ago, he was 32 of 50 for 382 yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Was that a good game? Because by your state, you're just saying yardage and all that stuff. They got smoked in that game because of him. Because he stinks.
The ball around.
He stinks.
He's throwing the ball around.
The week after that, and against Tennessee, 15 of 34 for 158 yards, no touchdowns.
He was rested.
Yeah, he was resting.
But if you go game by game, he does have some good ones this year. I mean, he had a good month, and especially against some bad defenses, Indy, Houston. All right, here's a question for you. If one of these quarterbacks is going to throw multiple 3, 4 interceptions, which chip are you putting it on? Blake.
Yeah.
Bortles.
Right.
Yeah, because, again, I don't think Ben will throw 5 interceptions again.
No, but I bet he throws 1.
Maybe 2.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good D. I mean, it's a good pass defense.
More to come on Inside Steelers Nation on SNR.